In this episode of Teach Me Something, Michelle Berman tries to teach Long how to properly use hashtags on Instagram to help grow your following. Michelle is the owner of Berman Media and an expert at Instagram content development. She helps agents get leads and grow their brand through Instagram. Will Long learn something new from Michelle? We will find out on this episode of Welcome to Teach Me Something, where our experts have 2 minutes to teach something new. I'm your host, Jesse Zagorsky. Meet Long Doan. Long knows a lot about everything, but specifically real estate and leadership. Long has sold thousands of houses, but there's one thing you should know about him. Every day, he is committed to learning something new. And if he doesn't learn something new, he has to read a book for at least 20 minutes. Long loves to learn, but he hates reading books. Well, that's not totally true, but you get the idea. And Long has a short attention span, because his brain is always thinking, which is why our contestants only have 2 minutes. Let's see if Long can learn something new on Teach Me Something. We're going to give you 2 minutes to teach Long. I'm assuming something about Instagram since you're an Instagram expert, right?
Yep.
All right. So we're going to give you, do you need any heads up on anything? Are you ready to rock and roll?
No, this is a really good, fun topic. So I hope Long's going to be like, over there. That's my goal.
I'm ready.
Let's do it. All right. So we'll put 2 minutes on the clock. 2 minutes on the clock, and Michelle, you can teach him something new about Instagram. Here we go.
Boom. All right. So what I want to talk to you about specifically is the difference between hashtags for your content on Instagram and hashtags for engagement. So Long, if you've ever experienced this feeling of why am I getting nothing but a bunch of other realtors or other loan officers or people that want to just earn my business following me, then the answer is because of the way you're engaging. So when we teach somebody this, we talk to them about their third place. So when you're not at work, when you're not at home, what are you doing outside of that you could be generating business within, right? So I know Tristan in one of our previous game shows with you said you love golf, right? So if you love golf and you know that you go out and you golf with your buddies all the time and you can genuinely say that you've generated business out of that sphere, then when you're engaging on the platform, you need to live, aka do your likes and do your comments and do your messaging, like the LCM, in that place, right? So for you, I always recommend I tell every client, pick 2 to 3 third places. I'm crushing it on time right now, but pick 2 or 3 places outside of work or home and use those as places. Now, here's the reason, and I want to hit it home with this. When you're sitting on your couch aimlessly scrolling Instagram at night, when you're done with the day or your wife's cooking dinner or whatever, you're not looking up other real estate agents, right? You're not on Instagram thinking, how can I engage with real estate agents today, right? So if you're trying to generate new business, you need to think about where are my ideal clients hanging out and aimlessly scrolling, and you need to hang out there. And if you do that really well, pick 2 to 3 different topics and you spread it out throughout the day. Do 45 comments a day at most, if that's all the time allows for, which we know comments are really fast and they don't need to be, paragraphs. Then you're going to be super successful at generating eyeballs from people that actually care about you.
That was perfect. Look at that. Yes. Love it. So I got a question for Long. Do you actually spend hours aimlessly scrolling, Long?
Probably not.
I do not. Matter of fact, I know it's a time suck. So I think Jesse knows I actually moved my social media icon to a second page on my phone so I don't see all the notifications because I have OCD and those notifications bugs the crap out of me. So I have to do something with them. So I do it twice a day right now.
Yeah, even so, that's great. I think the biggest problem, right, is that a lot of times we just think of, instead of thinking like our client, we think like the agent or like the loan officer or like that individual. And the problem with that is that our ideal clients are homeowners, right? People that are potentially buying or selling, and they're not thinking like that. They don't go to Instagram unless they're intentionally searching out a real estate agent. They don't go to Instagram and spend 30, 45 minutes scrolling looking for that. But if they see you in a picture of you golfing with your buddies and they recognize the country club and they're like, oh my gosh, I just went there last weekend, or oh my gosh, their restaurant on their property is so good. What have you been? Those are the kinds of engagements that are going to lead to nurtured conversations or giving you the opportunity, right, to nurture conversations over time that can turn into business and help you stay top of mind with your sphere.
It's really smart. I love it, Michelle. What questions do you have, Long?
Yeah, so I'm not that expert on Instagram. So what should my hashtags be that you mentioned that, there might be a couple of them I should be using?
Yeah. So when you're doing your engagement, think about those places, right? So the difference between engagement and your posts on your feed, what we were talking about is your engagement, right? So you're going to want to engage in your golf stuff, whatever your other things are that you love doing. Maybe you're into craft beer, or maybe you're into whiskey, whatever it is, doesn't matter. And also think about your wife's sphere, right? Like if you've ever generated business from your wife's side of what she loves to do outside of work, or outside of being your wife, then that's a great opportunity too. Like I use my husband a lot. I'm not a real estate agent, but I coach and train them. But my husband's retired military, right? So I spent a lot of time working with and trying to engage on other military veterans or women or men who serve the military through real estate, just because it's close to my heart, because that's an ideal client for me. Now, same thing for you guys, or for you right now, the difference on your content, right? When you're posting your picture on your feed, you want to be found and searchable in the category of who you are, right? So your specific and ideal areas is always a good opportunity in those. So make sure you have probably 5 to 7 hashtags in your content or on that piece of content that are directly related to your location. And then you're also going to want to have real estate specific ones. You can even do real estate specific location in one. And that will be really helpful. The third piece to it is your branded hashtag, if you have one, right? So if you have your own brokerage, if you are, whatever it is, putting that branded one for you. For me, mine's the hashtag Instagram Power Method, because that is the name of my program. And then the last piece is you want to have a good chunk of them that are specifically related to the piece of content you're posting. So if you're doing something that's teaching somebody something, right? Like if you're doing an educational video on this listing or on how to sell your listing for $1 million, then think of hashtags that are specifically related to that piece of content, and make a bunch for that.
Okay. So about 3 posts a day, one about work, one about home, one that third place. That's what you recommend that we do?
As far as number of posts per day, no, I would never recommend 3 pieces of content on your feed per day. 3 categories of hashtags that you're going to use on your one post on your feed for the day. And then as far as stories, right, totally separate portion of the platform. I always tell everyone 5 to 7 pieces of story content per day if you can. And that goes into the STAY acronym that Tristan gave you in one of the other recordings, right? Of where, like, or how should I describe this? So like, storytelling is what I would probably use S for. I know he used it for something else, but I would say storytell. So talk about a client, talk about a buyer, talk about somebody that you just went and showed a new build to and like what their journey is going to be, then teaching them something. And then for number 3, I would say authentic would be a good one, right? Meaning like show you as you in your day-to-day life, because not all of us are dressed up and perfect, wearing, totally dressed to the 9 every single day. That's actually like rare. So be authentic in your content that you're posting there. And then the personal piece, what I say to all of our clients is at least 1 post in your stories per day that is your face or you talking, right? Because I need to know, what do you sound like? What's your personality? What are your mannerisms? Because at the end of the day, that's how we connect to people. So stories 5 to 7 per day on your feed just once, and then focus on 3 categories of hashtags with that 1 post.
I love it. Long, I saw you taking notes. So I'm just gonna ask though, did you learn something?
I definitely learned something, and I'm happy I don't have to read tonight. So thank you, Michelle.
Woo!
Produced by the Agent Collective Media Network.